If you know me, you know that I love Lego Monkey Kid. More specifically, I love Mei Dragon. I wouldn't go as far as to say I'm her #1 fan, but my love for her is definitely up there. You know, it gets to the point where I stay awake thinking about her and all that crazy stuff. You know, the ones people call you autistic for, which I am, but that's unrelated. Another thing to know about me is that I absolutely love my media analysis. I could have media studies for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't consider myself particularly good at it, but it brings me great delight seeing others indulge in the act. I eat up any video essay that breaks down themes, characters, dynamics, whatever, like it is the greatest meal known to Earth. Whenever I get into something new, I tend to gravitate towards the GOOOO content for that analysis. Lo and behold, when I got hyperfixated on Lego Monkey Kid, I went straight to the YouTube search bar to see what the fandom had been cooking. To my slight surprise, there are barely any video essays on Lego Monkey Kid out there. And when I looked it up, there were no mini video essays in sight. So, I decided to take the duty up upon myself. By the time I'd conceptualized this video essay, Bendo Bricks had already done one on Mei's appearance in Season 3 and her overarching character. Still, I thought I'd put my perspective on her character as well, both in fandom and canon. What makes Mei, Mei? Who is she below the shallow surface level? Mei Dragon is one of the main characters in Lego Monkey Kid, the hyperactive and bouncy best friend to MK, our protagonist. She's got spunk, sass, and silliness galore, and all in one package. Mei is the descendant of a great dragon clan tracing back further than Aoyet, one of the pilgrims, or rather, the horse, of Journey to the West. She's also the fourth ring of the Samadhi Fire, playing a significant part of the plot in Season 3 through dynamics with other characters, as well as just driving the story forward. Throughout this video essay, I'll be focusing on the Samadhi Fire as an example for her analysis as well as her relationship with others, solely because I think it's a great arc that truly went to waste. Her character itself is on par with the typical liveliness of other Lego Monkey Kid characters, bringing a fresh and unique personality to the table that can spur development and the story forward. Throughout the currently 4 released seasons of Lego Monkey Kid, we see how ferociously protective, almost overprotective, Mei is of her friends. As she says in Season 4, Episode 5, Court of the Yellow Rub Demon, I would watch my sword shatter into pieces 1,000 times so long as I used it to protect the ones I care about. Mei is even willing to give up her valuable family artifacts for her loved ones. More on that later. Whether Mei is streaming on her phone or riding on her bike, she remains confident and positive, passionate and impulsive. Mei's the definition of the weird, quirky girl boss trope we see displayed so often in the media. Thankfully, within the show, and unlike many others where this trope is butchered, Mei is never reduced to such basic tropes and such simplistic traits. That isn't to say Mei isn't neglected at all. We're constantly deprived of seeing Mei go full ballistic dragon mode, and she doesn't even get an ounce of the amount of character development some of the other characters in Lego Monkey Kid do. And that's not something to complain. There's obviously more main characters in Lego Monkey Kid, but come on now. She's such a primary force, and you can't even give her that much character development. I mean, she doesn't get any pep talks from other characters that make a profound impact, or go through anything drastic enough to help make her character richer and more in depth. And it's not like there weren't any opportunities for Lego to push her character forward. I mean, Mei goes through the whole damn Samadhi Fire. There was so much potential with that arc, and all of it was gone to waste, thrown into the void alongside any chance we had of getting main character development for now. It's safe to say that despite Mei being incredibly prominent, Lego Monkey Kid makes it clear that they have created a concrete personality for Mei and intend on using it for the rest of the show. She's quick to bite, quick to explode, and quick to protect. She's an engineer, a tech pro, but that doesn't stop her from being silly and fun. None of these things are inherently negative on their own, but when paired with the show's reluctance to not give Mei more dedicated progression, it can make her seem more static and less fluid than the rest of the cast. God bless, this shallow perception of a static Mei isn't the complete truth. While yes, her connection with the Samadhi Fire is thrown away and only addressed in one throwaway line, just one, in Season 4, Mei is nowhere near uninteresting or surface level compared to the rest of the Monkey Kid crew. Her wit and unwavering dedication speak for themselves, showcasing her numerous skills and capabilities across tricky situations and critical moments. From competitive episodes like the Great Wall Race in Season 1, to more story-rich episodes like Great Grand Dragon of the East in Season 3, Mei never fails to disappoint. Sometimes it does feel like she's as underutilized as her ancestor Alia in the original Journey to the West, but for the most part, Mei's vibrant self never fails to shine. As I briefly previously mentioned, Mei is a deeply protective friend. She has no doubt in herself when it comes to her friends and their treatment, whether from herself or others. Rooting her identity in her relationships, Mei's foundation depends on her love for others. Without them, she is nothing. Without them, she isn't Mei. Hinging herself and her values onto the people surrounding her is a vulnerability alongside a strength. Let me put it like this, and nerd out for a second. If Mei were a Percy Jackson character, her fatal flaw would most definitely be loyalty. I fear for her sometimes. Please, dear Lego's writer's room, do not let my girl get manipulated in season 5. Mei's dynamic with MK in particular is super fascinating. Their friendship is incredibly, and I mean incredibly important to both their characters. They are pillars of support to each other, lifting each other no matter the context. The wacky duo, similar enough to get along perfectly and entertain the viewer, but different enough to create a satisfying amount of contrast. Their subtle juxtaposition boosts the friendship too. Where Mei grows in confidence, MK becomes less and less so confident. The constant guilt caged into MK's chest is non-existent for Mei, who is so sure of herself and occasionally cocky that it gets in her way. Mei and MK's struggles are unique but complement each other in such a way I could only describe it as a chef's kiss. Mei's relationship with others in the show are not as fleshed out, but still quite interesting. Her ability to effortlessly banter or bicker, flawlessly starting a conversation with anyone, brings about the chance for many great dynamics. From her playful teasing of Red Sun to just casually chatting with Sandy, Mei never stops interacting and enjoying friendships, and the little things in life in general. Mei may be one for the bigger picture, but that doesn't mean smaller gestures equal anything less in her book. Perhaps the only long-term, strained and troubled relationship Mei has ever had is with her parents. I personally have a buttload of headcanons for Mei's familial relations, but I'll keep it short and sweet. Mei's parents have a perception of their daughter that Mei really isn't. Despite that, Mei loves them, because that is the essence of Mei's personality. Persevering, unwavering, unconditional love. For the world around her, for the people near her, nothing will make Mei give up, not even something as large and dangerous as the literal, all-powerful, all-destructive somebody fire. For Mei, it is not only her soul that fills up her insides, it's the hearts of her family and friends too. I can't stress enough just how much Mei's character hinges on others. When she trusts someone, she trusts them with her whole gut, making betrayal hurt even more than it usually does. When Mei loves someone, she loves them tenfold a quote-unquote regular amount. Love, however, is not a one-way street. That love can turn into hurt, and when it does, Mei feels it tenfold yet again. This is the case, for example, of Mei and Wukong. In Season 3, Episode 10, The Samadhi Fire, Wukong betrays Mei. Big time. Rightfully so, Mei gets incredibly upset. Imagine not telling someone they carry the possible end of the world in them and expect them to react normally. I, for one, would definitely not act rationally and sane afterwards. Mei's response to Wukong lying and evading the issue at hand is visceral and raw. She calls him out and blames him for what is happening to her before disappearing into a cloud of smoke and fire. It is an incredibly powerful scene, reminding both the audience and the characters of the consequences of their mistakes. Despite the catastrophic situation, Mei is not deterred. She continues to persevere in her training with Red Sun. She persists despite the circumstances, all for the ones she loves. She will break her back for them, sacrifice her own happiness for them, just to keep her friends safe and content. I sometimes see Mei characterized as self-centered and oblivious to the world around her, but this couldn't be any further from the actual truth. Just because Mei knows to take care of herself does not mean she doesn't give a damn about others. Rather, she cares for everything and everyone around her. Too much sometimes. Mei's passion doesn't only get in the way when it comes to self-sacrifice. Her ferocity extends to actions, leading her to make impulsive and sometimes rash decisions. Her thinking is very black and white, either/or. In Mei's eyes, the gray areas just don't exist. She can attempt to understand them, try her hardest to support the idea of them, but she is, for now, stuck in the zone of these only two tones, black and white. Mei's thought process can cause a little bit of a struggle when dealing with problem solving. When Mei and the gang are with Master Saboti, Mei is fed up with the fact that she doesn't receive any rewards for her efforts. There's this black and white fighting at play here. Mei doesn't understand that there are fields she can improve in, even though she excels in some others. It is, as always, either/or for Mei. How is it possible for her to suck when she's so good at so many other things? What is it that's stopping her? The answer to these questions, of course, is not that simple. And there it is again. Mei does not dissect things in a matter of complexity. I'm going to use a little analogy here to further break down things and make it simpler, and call the issues Mei faces colors. These colors, in reality, are varied in shades and tones, some warm and dark, while some others are cool and light. For Mei, however, the colors are void of any juxtaposed depth. They are only colors without the possibility of clashing ideas. Mei's black and white thinking breaches her impulses as well. Mei does not see a middle ground in a situation, either going full out or not going out at all. This is evident when, in Season 4, she immediately distrusts Azure Lion, thinking he's the bad guy, the villain in the story. Another example is when she's faced with the Samadhi Fire, which I'm going to use as an example again, just because of how such a good testament to her character it is. Anyhow, Mei only thinks of the total extremes of the situation, doomed eternally or saved forever. Quitting is not an option in her book. While sure, this type of thinking fuels Mei's training, it also hinders her. She's blinded to the possibility that perhaps something in between could happen, a not-so-severity. When Mei is confronted with a problem, she thinks that she needs to solve it, or else things will go bad. Highlight on the words "or else." No space is spared for a possible middle road. Mei must jump into action immediately, or else all hell will break loose. At least, that's what she thinks. Despite her carefree appearance, Mei is not void of any struggle. While plenty of people, including myself, have very heavy angst headcanons for Mei, I'd like to focus on the canon, the main issue, the expectations pressed onto Mei. If you watch like 2 seconds of Like a Monkey Kid, you'll realize that Mei doesn't give 2 damns about what others think of her. She is her own person, independent in her belief. Her faith in herself is a primary reason why she manages to stay so strong in strange, stressful situations, cheerful as always. Hell, even as a conscious carrier of the Samadhi Fire, Mei manages to bounce back within hours. Rather than letting the pressures of society, family, and I don't know, world-ending catastrophes get to her, Mei uses these things to further push herself out the mold, shaping her life outside of what, let's say, her ancestors, or really anyone, expects of her. I deeply wish Like a Monkey Kid had episodes that were longer so we could get more depth on Mei's troubles, but unfortunately, we only have these 10-minute episodes in batches of 10, which, if we ignore the specials, is not a lot. Even if we add the specials, it's quite a little. So, I'm going to go off the little we know about her past to give a more rounded idea of how Mei may have been affected by her ancestral lineage. Mei is not in any way ashamed of her past. She has dragon emblems and motifs in almost all her clothes, as well as in her different vehicles and weapons. Still, in the beginning of Coming Home, we see a snippet of how Mei doesn't really fit into the environment she was raised in. Perhaps her being brash and bold was a reaction to her childhood years, but that's purely my own speculation. What we know is this: Mei wasn't really comfortable with what others expected her to be in her family. She still isn't, which is why she strives to be the most herself she can be. Her non-conformity to tradition is yet again hinted in Great Grand Dragon of the East when she gets dressed up by a maid. She reclaims it, not prim and proper, but still wearing her dress gleaming with pride. Mei is a rule breaker, a broken link in a cycle that was doomed to repeat itself. I'd say it goes as far as being representative of generational trauma and how to stop the pattern of pain and unease. Mei's optimistic resistance is full of hope, whispering into the young girl's ears on the other side of the screen. If I can be different and still be cool and awesome, so can you. Mei, as I've spent the last 15 minutes explaining, is a great character in Like a Monkey Kid itself. In the fandom? Well, sometimes. While I'm not going to say disliking Mei because you don't like her character is misogynistic, there are a lot of things out there about Mei that simply aren't true or accurate. Basically, what I'm trying to get at here is that there's a crap ton of Mei mischaracterization out there. Due to her simpler quote-unquote personality and development, there isn't much exploration of Mei, far less than there are other characters. Mei appreciation? Absolutely. But in-depth analysis compared to the amount for other fan favorites? Barely. Most of the content I see of Mei is ship content, and while look, I enjoy my ships, it gets tiring to see Mei only explored as an accessory to ships or as a romantic partner herself. I know I said relationships are a huge part of her life, but come on, Like a Monkey Kid fandom, let's explore some more aspects of her. In fandom, there's so much content right there. Maybe I'm asking for too much because she's my favorite, but we can all be a little self-indulgent in our desires sometimes. I'm also going to keep this portion really short and sweet, so to not delve into my own personal gripes I have Like a Monkey Kid fandom and keep it solely observation based. And because my gripes of the fandom are not the point of this video. Mei is an undeniably deep character and a vital part of Like a Monkey Kid you cannot take out. Without her, none of the characters would be where they are today. Her impact is hugely underestimated, underappreciated, both in canon and fanon. She's a beam of light and hope for the show, and I just wish there was more individual content for my girl. I hope I have shed a light, a little bit at least, on her character and her actions throughout this video essay, as short and sweet as it is. This may have just been an excuse for me to ramble a bit about my favorite character, but I can at least hope that it was a productive ramble. As we end, I want to say that while Like a Monkey Kid doesn't have many female characters as part of the main roster, it does a hell of a good job with the ones they do have. Peace out, and love to all of you Monkey Kidders! Thank you so much for watching, and apologies if my make quality is super crunchy. This was done on my phone with CapCut in a dream. Also, this is my second video essay. It's a bit rusty and dusty, but thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video essay. Bye bye, and follow me on my socials.